Finally, it's Pikmin 3. I think there are plenty of reasons to celebrate the release of Pikmin 3. It's the first major game since LEGO City Undercover on the Wii U that isn't a port, update, or a bunch of repackaged tech demos. It's been 9 years since Pikmin 2 was first released. It starts a series of monthly releases until the end of the year, so hopefully my Wii U just isn't a Monster Hunter machine. And with any luck, after this mess, we can hopefully add the term launch window to the long list of marketing words that should never be used again. For those who haven't played any of the previous Pikmin games, they are real-time strategy games. Essentially, you are a captain who can control a squad of up to 100 small alien creatures known as Pikmin. The twist is, both you and the Pikmin are barely an inch tall and can be easily killed by the creatures of the mysterious planet. It's actually Earth. Unlike the previous games, you don't play as Captain Olimar. Instead, you're playing as 3 new characters, Alf, Brittany, and Charlie from a planet known as Kopai. The plot this time: Kopai is in danger of starvation, so they formed a group together to go to the planet that they have named PNF 404, once again it's Earth, to find food, in this case, fruit, to get the seeds to harvest. However, they crash, are separated, and in the process lose the key that allows their ship to enter into warp, stranding them until they can find the key. I like this plot, and I think it works great. It has the elements of isolation from the first game, while also giving you a situation and a reason to rush through things other than you're going to die in 30 days unless you escape. It also doesn't exactly evoke the feelings of being a giant asshole that the second game did, with you only really being there for greed because Olimar's boss is a dumbass. The big gameplay changes include the addition of a third captain, allowing you to further multitask and separate within the levels. Unlike the second game, you do technically have a limited time on the planet, but it's fully dependent on how much fruit you collect and the juice that you harvest from those fruits. I never found it to be an issue since your timer naturally increases with the more progress you make. I quickly had enough juice to never have to worry about running out, and there is always more fruit right around the corner. It's not an issue in the slightest. Tutorials are kept at an absolute minimum. The game only tells you how to call and throw Pikmin, and everything else is up to you to find out. There are some messages that give further tutorials and explain enemy weaknesses, but they are completely optional, and are just a single slide on the gamepad. Most of the time when I found a message, I had already figured out the enemy's pattern and weakness myself. The purple and white Pikmin from the previous game appear in the challenges mode, but don't appear during the story mode, instead having been replaced by the rock Pikmin and flying Pikmin. Each have their own advantages. Flying Pikmin are weaker, but can be used to transport materials and fruit quickly, and they also fly over water, while rock Pikmin can't be crushed or pierced and have a strong attack but can't latch onto enemies and constantly attack like other Pikmin. Red, yellow, and blue keep their fire, electric, and water immunities respectively. In general, all Pikmin can use bomb rocks now as opposed to just the yellow ones in the first game, and all Pikmin also come from the same onion now, saving you a few moments at the start of each day. There is also an addition of a charge attack, allowing your Pikmin to just Zerg rush any enemies, and take them out rather quickly instead of just throwing them on one at a time. Everything feels well balanced within the game. Each Pikmin has their role with things that they are supposed to do, although I do wish that the purple and white Pikmin were available in one-player mode, but I can see why they weren't. You already have 5 types to micromanage, and any more would make things more difficult to balance, with the limit still being 100 Pikmin allowed on the field. The Pikmin AI hasn't been improved. Pikmin were still getting stuck behind objects easily. It's kind of frustrating at the end of the day when you're looking for the ones you're missing and you find them against a wall. The 2 biggest issues I had both involved the gamepad. First of all, the controls with the gamepad suck. Mainly because you're using one analog stick for both aiming and movement at the same time. Yes, I know it's the exact same controls as Pikmin 1 and 2 on the GameCube. It's been 9 years since then. We've had the new Play Control versions, things have changed, and these controls are now archaic. Seriously, save yourself any trouble and just play with the Wii Remote and Nunchuck. It's a lot better, even if some of the commands are regulated to motion controls. I was able to beat the game with the gamepad, but it was at times an exercise in frustration, notably during the bosses. Just having the ability to point where you want to throw your Pikmin is a godsend. You can lock onto targets, which helps a little bit, but it's not as fast or efficient as the pointer controls. I tried playing with the gamepad again after playing with the Wii Remote and Nunchuck, and it ended badly. The second biggest issue revolving around the gamepad is that it always has to be on, since it doubles as a map, regardless if you're using it or not. I'm probably beating a dead horse by saying this, but the battery life is crap. It's worse here since even if you're not using it, such as the 2-player mode and you're both using the Wii Remote and Nunchuck, and it runs out of power, you still have to plug it in. Those were honestly my biggest issues with the game. The biggest thing after that was when throwing your Pikmin, they just teleported from behind you and into your hands. It's from a rather noticeable distance. It just stood out because, well, it just wasn't polished. I'd expect the Pikmin to be lining up right behind me to be thrown. Graphically, it looks nice. It's an improvement from Pikmin 1 and 2, and there's a lot more detail in the environments, especially with the lighting and shadows. The plants also have some nice detail in them. I like the sound too. The music is really nice and calming. There are sound cues letting you know when tasks are complete so you can reassign the Pikmin. The characters also have this gibberish language that they talk, and I thought it was really cute. My first playthrough took 15 hours. I probably could have cut down the time if I had used the other two captains more often and didn't go after as many fruits as I did. The game is also extremely generous. If you feel that you severely screwed up, or most of your Pikmin were killed, you can quickly reset your day and do it all over again. The game has a lot of replayability, from trying to collect all of the fruits faster and trying to find the most efficient way, or trying to minimize your Pikmin losses and have a low casualty run. And that's just the single player. The game also features a mission mode that can be played by either 1 or 2 players, where you try to collect a bunch of fruit across the level in a single day, beat numerous enemies, or after beating the game, fighting the bosses. The game also has an addictive 2-player bingo battle mode. In bingo battle, you go around collecting items to fill up a bingo sheet, while impeding the other player either by attacking, stealing their items, or using power-ups against them. It can easily get heated and it has that feeling of doing one more match. The 12 maps that are available also keep things varied. If you're starving for something to play on the Wii U and you haven't picked up Pikmin 3, well, that's your fault. I fully recommend Pikmin 3. There's a great deal of replayability with the single-player mode. It's a return to the spirit of the original Pikmin, and I loved it. The 2-player battle mode and challenge mode is addictive. I honestly found that the worst thing was that the gamepad controls really aren't that good, and it's easily remedied by playing with the Wii Remote and Nunchuck. Outside of Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, it's probably my favorite game on the Wii U so far. Now, if you excuse me, I have $200 to spend because I can't find a cover of Oliver singing I Know Uta from Pikmin 1.